the possibility for failure is great. Therefore, your adherence, your study, your intention to learn, your patience, your compassion and your ability are very crucial to the possibility of a greater community way of knowledge and theology being introduced and learned here. Perhaps you who are reading these words will be one of the pioneers in this. It is through your studenthood that greater things can be created for the future, for you are working for the future now. This represents a greater understanding and a greater reality regarding your life and your presence in the world. Knowledge translates itself through many levels of interaction, and thus it carries its impact from person to person, from heart to heart and from mind to mind. Beyond traditions, beyond cultural distinctions, and beyond all kinds of differentiation, knowledge traverses the great gulfs that seem to separate people, cultures and nations in the world. Because knowledge is inherent in each person can respond to knowledge as he or she learns to perceive it and to experience it. This is the effect of inspiration. It bridges all gaps and traverses all boundaries, reaching minds here and there and everywhere. This is the power of knowledge. This is the power of the Creator. It is not a power that you can see and touch. It is not a power that you can harness and use. It is not a power that you can display and use to dominate others. It is not a power that your world recognizes or understands. It is a pervasive power because it works at an entirely different level of life, a level of life of which you are a part, but of which you are yet barely aware. This translation process will assure continuance for the human race. It will assure continuance for the possibility of humanity learning from its mistakes and capitalizing upon its strengths and greater abilities. This is required because of the evolution of the world and because of the problems of the world. Therefore, as a few individuals are able to learn a greater community way of knowledge, the effects of their learning and their resulting contribution will help to elevate the minds of others. This will continue to resonate through groups, cultures, tribes and nations, and through families, marriages, friendships and all other kinds of relationships. The translation of knowledge must first be initiated. If no one in the world can learn a greater community way of knowledge, then it cannot be translated within the world in which you live. However, if a few can learn to follow knowledge, abide with knowledge and recognize knowledge as the greater power that is with them and in them, then greater works can be done, greater examples can be made and greater demonstrations can be established. This will produce a resonating effect that will enable knowledge to be translated from person to person in ways that are mysterious and pervasive and in ways that are lasting and meaningful. This gives a great responsibility to those who are the first generations to learn a greater community way of knowledge. They are the pioneers, for they will establish greater parameters of understanding and the possibility for the development of greater abilities. It is incumbent upon them, then, to take their studenthood very seriously and to have the understanding that their purpose will elevate them above the mundane problems which circumscribe everyone around them. This will give them a greater power and a greater responsibility to contribute and to serve others. It is always difficult for the first pioneers to establish new ground in any field of endeavor, whether they are pioneering new places or a new understanding. They face resistance from the world around them. They face misunderstanding. They face resentment and indifference. They even face hostility. However, they will forge the future for your race. They set a new direction, and they keep the race moving forward. The world's emergence into the greater community will be occurring over the next 1.5 centuries. Therefore, what you are doing now in learning a greater community way of knowledge is establishing the foundation and preparation for the future. This will give meaning to the present and will give you an understanding of why things are happening in the world in the direction in which they must go. This growing wisdom inside you, born of your honest studenthood, will give you the ability to counsel others, to assist others and to work in the arenas where you can have the greatest benefit and the greatest effect. This will give you the satisfaction of experiencing and expressing a greater purpose in life, a satisfaction that is unparalleled by any pleasure or any advantage that the world can bestow upon you. Here you will become a translator as you translate a greater understanding into the normal activities of life, and as you translate your greater relationship with the unseen ones and with your Creator into your relationships with other people. The will of the Creator is translated through many different levels of interaction. This represents the greater plan of the Creator, of which you are an intrinsic and necessary part. You are not only a recipient of the greater plan, you are a part of its transmission, if you can become a student of its presence, its will, its purpose and its method. This is the greater opportunity that you have in life. This is the greater reward and fulfillment that is awaiting you. It is born of your ancient home, and it is needed now in the world in which you live. The unseen ones transfer knowledge wherever knowledge can be received. This is a very natural process. If knowledge cannot be received, then it is not transferred. If the promise for knowledge to be received and translated is great, then the way of knowledge would be presented, a way of learning and a way of translating what has been received. In this way, the translation process will continue through those who are fortunate enough to receive it in the first place. They will be the pioneers. It is upon their courage and their establishment that the possibility for learning will increase and expand to meet new challenges and to resolve old ones. The translation process is beyond your comprehension because it encompasses the entire scope of the universe. Yet your experience of the divine has the possibility to expand, to grow and to become ever more magnificent and effective, ever more a form of security and a foundation for courage for you. However, do not try to understand this intellectually, for if you do, you will create an understanding that is minuscule. It will not contain or reflect the greater meaning, purpose and message that we are expressing to you at this moment. Be thankful that a greater purpose and a greater power are at work in the world. It is not an alien power. It is an inherent power. It is not a foreign power. It is not a domestic power. It is great because it includes life everywhere. It is something that has always been here, and now the need for it has grown in scope. The greater community way of knowledge is an expansion of the knowledge that humanity has attempted to learn throughout the ages. Never think that greater community spirituality is a replacement for the world's religions. It is here to give them greater scope and greater depth and understanding. However, greater community spirituality will become a new foundation because it represents a greater perception and a greater experience of life. In this, it will infuse itself into the world's religious understanding. And from this, the world may grow as a whole. Not everyone can believe in the same teaching or follow the same teacher or demonstration. However, everyone can move forward together because of the great translation of truth as it truly exists in life. The greater community way of knowledge has only been introduced through one person. If this one person can be joined by true students and true companions, then the translation process into the world can truly begin and be substantiated. It only takes one person to be a seed for something great in the world, but for this seed to grow and to develop, it requires the involvement of other people, a selfless involvement in nurturing and presenting something of great meaning and value. This process of learning and contribution is what will restore you, redeem you and reunite you with knowledge. Knowledge is your real life because it is your greater life. It is your immortal life as it exists in the world today. It is the example and demonstration of the Creator nurturing and upholding your development and your existence here within a myriad of changing conditions. You stand at the threshold of receiving something of the greatest magnitude, something that is needed in the world and something that is being transferred to the world and translated into the world. You are among the first who will receive this. Receive it well. Become a student of knowledge. Learn the greater community way of knowledge. Then, all of the wisdom that has ever been established in the world will have a greater context and a greater possibility for expression. Then your life in the world will be discovered, realized and justified. Here you will not merely be a witness of this great process. You will be an inherent part of it. Your role will be significant. No matter how small and specific your contribution may be in life, the importance of its demonstration and development is significant and cannot be denied. The future of the world is up to you. You can be part of the critical demonstration.